Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally going to sit down and do my full pumping schedule. So if you're new here, I'm a surrogate. I gave birth almost 4 months ago now to baby Jack, and I have been exclusively pumping milk and donating it to him as well as other babies in the NICU and things like that. So I thought I'd go through my whole schedule. And sorry if you can hear noise outside. Trent's working on our little box out there. So yeah, I'm going to jump in with go through what I use and all that kind of stuff, and then I'll go through my timeline of things during the day, and I'll throw in some clips as well of me actually doing the stuff. So yeah, I'll start off with my pump. I use a freestyle, a Medela freestyle. Kate and Chris did buy me a Medela swing, but I found that the freestyle was slightly more powerful, and I can see like how long I've been pumping and stuff for. So I like to use the freestyle. It's got a double tube, so I can use two at the same time. But I do it a bit differently, and I use the swing parts. So I've got, the swing parts. I didn't really like the freestyle parts. It was just too complicated, I think. I don't know, I'm a very simple-minded person. So yeah, I use the freestyle pump and tube with the swing, this part of it. So yeah, that's what I use, and I've got 2 different size bottles that I use. I've got 4 of these and 2 of these. So usually I'll leave the 2 of these for the morning because they're bigger, and I usually get a bigger pump from the morning, obviously being a longer stretch. And the only time I ever really use the double is in the morning. I don't know why. This is just personal preference, but I prefer to do it 1 pump at on each side, if that makes sense, at a time, instead of doing it double. But it saves me time in the morning. I don't know, I'm just weird like that. So I use the double in the morning for 30 minutes, and then every other pump during the day I only do one side 15 minutes, then I'll switch one side 15 minutes. That's just the way that I do it. When I'm pumping, I like to put a towel underneath as well, just in case it spills or whatever. These are the terra cloth towels. You get them like 24 towels for $12, I think it is, something like that, from Kmart. So yeah, I usually have them underneath to catch any milk and tidy up. Yeah, what else? I use the Swispers bags. Well, actually I've used Avent, Swispers and Medela, all 3 different bags, and I found my favorite are the Swispers, just because they can carry a bit more. The Avent ones are the smallest. Medela slightly bigger, and these ones I can fit a lot more. Here they say to only put 200 mils in these, but I have pushed it out, and I usually can fit up to 350, between 350 and 400. 400 is a bit too much, but yeah, between that in these bags. So yeah, I like to use these ones because I can fit more, and yeah, less wasting of plastic. So they're my favorite, then the Medela, and then the Avent. Medela are nicer, like they're easier to prop up and like stand up, but yeah, the Swispers do the trick, and they're the cheapest, I think. I'm not sure about the Avent, but the Swispers, I think you can get them from Chemist Warehouse. Pack of 20 for $6, I think it is. These are incredible. I only found these after I started donating to the King Eddie's milk bank, and they make sterilizing super easy. You just chuck, I think it's 2 ounces of water, and then you put the bags in there and put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, and then you can use it like up to 20 times. You just cross off how many times you've used it. So really easy. Yeah, I'll go through my sterilizing process in a minute, but I basically sterilize hardcore when I'm pumping for the milk bank, because they go into preemie babies and they have to be really sterile. So those ones, every time just before I'm about to pump for the milk bank, I'll use those. But for the older babies, I don't, like Jack, and there's a few other regular donors that I have that are about 3 months now. So I don't fully sterilize for them, because obviously their immune systems are getting better and better. I usually just hot water and soap for them. So those bags are really good for when I need to do it for the milk bank. I also get a lot of questions about if I do any supplements. The only thing that I've been taking are these fenugreek tablets, and I'm not sure if they work, but yeah, I'm taking them anyway, fenugreek. And I was taking my placenta capsules when I had them, but I've run out now. I've only got one left, which I want to keep as a little souvenir. So yeah, these are from Divine Mother here in Perth. Cara, she was awesome. She came and did my placenta for me. So yeah, they were great. So those are the only really two things that I take. I'm also on the mini pill as well, contraception. So yeah, that's really all that I take. I've also been using these Milky Mama stuff. These are, I've got some chai latte, brownies, and some bliss balls that I made as well. So yeah, I've been eating that, and like I think they've been working quite well. I also eat a lot of oats as well. So I figure the days I eat a lot of oats and these products like the bliss balls, I produce a lot more as well. So yeah, that's what I use. I have a code for that Milky Mama too. If you want to get any Milky Mama products, use the code DOULA10. I'll put it down here somewhere if you want to use that to get any of those products. But yeah, I think that's all that I brought to show you that I use, and then now I'll go through my timeline of stuff. Yeah, so as I mentioned, okay, it's hard to tell you the way that I do it, but I'll go from the beginning of the day. As you'll see, I set up the night before for the next day, but I'll go through, it's the start of a new day, let's go. So I'll wake up at 6:30 a.m. Before the kids. My alarm goes off at 6, and then 6:30 I sit up in bed, and I have all my stuff next to me on my bedside table, and I do a double pump for 30 minutes. And that pump goes to the King Eddie bottles. So King Eddie's giving me a whole set of different bottles. I only use the Swiss bags, or the milk bags, for other babies that I'm donating to privately. So yeah, so that first pump, it goes into those bottles with the blue lids, and straight into the freezer. Usually I can fill up one of those bottles with the all of my milk from that first pump, but if it's too little, then I'll do another pump. Usually leave the last pump of the day after I've sterilized everything again and top up that bottle. So if that makes any sense. So yeah, after I've done that pump, I rinse out all my parts and put it on a towel in the kitchen bench. So 6:30 is my first pump. Second pump is at 12, so in the afternoon. Sometimes I'll push it out to 1. That just depends on what I'm doing during the day. It's either 12 or 1. So I've now cut down the 9 a.m. pump. So yeah, it just goes from 6:30 to 12. And that one I do 15 minutes on each side, and the milk goes into the fridge. So I just keep them in the bottles, put a little cap on them. I've got the cap somewhere, so I use these little caps, just screw on top of the bottles, and they go straight to the fridge. And so yeah, I do that again for 4 p.m. and 7 p.m, 15 minutes each side, milk straight into the fridge. I do 12 p.m, 4 p.m, 7 p.m, all pumped. And then after the 7 p.m. pump, I put all the milk, gather all the milk and put it into the bags. So I usually divide it into 3 bags or 2 bags, depending on how much milk I get. Usually I can get at least 2, sometimes 3. And like I said, I like to put either 300 to 350, 400 mils, depending, on how much milk I make. Divide up evenly into those bottles, and then I put those bags into the freezer. And then I wash all of my bottles. I do hot soapy water, wash all of my bottles, all of my parts, and then I sterilize everything. And so I sterilize everything by just putting it into the pot of water, boiling they say I need to do it for about 5 minutes, but I like to do it like maybe 15, 20 minutes, just because I usually put it on, do something else, and then I'll come back to it later. So yeah, I sterilize everything then. My tubing though, for my pump, I only really sterilize it maybe once a week, unless I've got milk stuck in them. Sometimes, like the pumping mechanism, if I'm letting down too fast, it sucks back up into the tube, so I have to rinse it out. Usually only once a week though, so that's that. Everything's sterilized, and then the 10 p.m. pump, I again do it 15 minutes each side. And then if I either need to top up that King Eddie bottle that I said, or I'll just put that into the freezer for the next day. So yeah, I've got enough bottles for pumps every day, so I don't need to keep washing and sterilizing throughout the day. I only wash and sterilize once. So yeah, I only use those microwave bags after that last pump of the day, just to set up for the next day, to make sure that everything is sterilized for that first pump again. Yeah, just because I'm using that pump for the King Eddies. And like I said, I think I've said it about 100 times, I sterilize differently for the King Eddies because they're preemie babies and they have to be sterile. But yeah, I also use hand sanitizer just before I put together the parts and all that for the King Eddie milk bank pumps, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so I set up everything before the night before, so it's ready to go again at 6:30 the next day and do it all over again. So yeah, I hope that video made any sense. It's quite confusing, but I've gotten that routine. And yeah, so I think I've finished doing my bottles for King Eddies now. Now I need to start weaning off. And so now I'm going to start decreasing that down to 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then none pumps a day. So that'll be another interesting experience. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and then you can figure out your own pumping schedule. It's so much different pumping exclusively than when you're pumping with a baby as well. So just keep that in mind, that it looks like I make a lot of milk, but I'm not breastfeeding another baby. So yeah, I'm not making any ridiculous amounts. I make about 1 liter a day, sometimes less, sometimes more. Yeah, and it all goes into the freezer for me to donate. And if you're curious, check out Human Milk for Human Babies on Facebook and find out I'm pretty sure they're all over the world, but yeah, obviously here we're doing the Western Australia on that page on Facebook, and that's where I found my donees. And you can find, if you need milk, that's where you can find donors for any milk. So yeah, I hope that helps. Please leave any comments down below, any questions that you have, and I'll try and answer them all. But yes, I hope that helps somebody out there and it made any sense. And I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.